my favorite part of the skit was when I showed Julio fumbling. I'm worried that these Falcon skits are going to come back to bite me. I'm not necessarily worried. Yes, I know Drew Brees retired. Yes, I know we lost about 6 or 7 players. Yes, I know that we lost a few of our coaches. Yes, I know that David Ayimade was suspended for the first 6 games. Yes, I know James and Taysom are our quarterback. Ian Book will be our quarterback, okay? As long as we have Michael Thomas, we're going to be good. I'm not worried. Wait, hold on. It's breaking news for the Saints. That's got to be good news, right? The law of averages.
That wide receiver Michael Thomas is expected to miss the start of the 2021 season after undergoing surgery to repair the ligaments in his ankle in June. Based on the timing of the surgery and recommended 4 months of recovery, Thomas
well, I mean, it's Ian Rappaport. I'm not taking him serious. Nick Underhill's reporting it too.
So, first off, good morning, good evening, and good night, whatever time of the day you are watching. I hope it is a good one. Today we have a very special live stream for you guys, but it's not that good of a day, I guess. Well, I mean, it's always a good day, right? We're alive, we're all healthy. But speaking of health, unfortunately, it seems like Michael Thomas's health is not in a good space. I'm sure you guys have seen the news by now, but if you haven't, if I'm the guy who's breaking the news to you, then my apologies. But Michael Thomas is placed on IR today, and Dennis Allen says he does not see any scenario where Michael Thomas returns this season, basically meaning that Michael Thomas' season is over. You know, that might be a 1 or 2 small percent miracle that, you know, we go real deep into the playoffs and Super Bowl and Michael Thomas returns, but it's not looking good and has caused a lot of reaction from Saints fans, good and bad, about Michael Thomas. And actually, I see the first chat that I had says from 4040, the legendary says that dude's a bum. 4040, I respect if you are a follower of my channel and my platforms, but we're not having that. We're absolutely not having that. Michael Thomas is not a bum. Okay, this is a brutal sport, the game of football, and it sucks, but injuries happen. And it's not like Michael Thomas proactively seeks to get injured. You know, it happens. It's unfortunate. It's unlucky. We can argue, and we might soon, about like what is the reason for these injuries to some of our key players that keep constantly happening. But Michael Thomas is not a bum. Michael Thomas gave us one of the greatest wide receiver seasons in NFL history, not just Saints history, but in NFL history. In 2019, he dominated. He absolutely dominated. He had fans of opposing teams so mad that they did this whole slant boy joke as if it's a bad thing that Michael Thomas exceeds at the slant route. Well, if he's a slant boy and we all know that the slants are coming, why can't your team stop him, right? He dominated teams and he was a bit of an asshole, which I loved. So he had a lot of hate from opposing fans, but he is not a bum. It's unfortunate, but he is not a bum. Injuries suck. As Apollo says, I hate the injuries too. Michael Thomas, y'all see, I'm gonna still wear the jersey, you know, and even if Michael Thomas has played his last game as a New Orleans Saint, I'm gonna forever wear this jersey because he's a Saints legend. He accomplished in 3 seasons, you want to say, what some players can't accomplish in their whole career. All right, you can argue that had he not had these injuries, he was well on his pace to being the greatest Saints wide receiver of all time. You can argue he's on his way to being the greatest Saints skill set player of all time. He was a dog. He was physical. He got in opponents' heads. He dominated. He gave Drew Brees an extra 2 or 3 years of playing time because he was such a security blanket for Drew Brees. So what I don't want from Saints fans today is for everybody to start dissing Michael Thomas. And, it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. All of these things. Fine. Yes, we all want to see Michael Thomas play football. But what we're not going to do is insult him, and what we're not going to do is call him a bum, or we're not going to put on our tinfoil hats and be like, oh, Michael Thomas doesn't want to play with the Saints, and he's doing this on purpose. No, Michael Thomas is a competitor. It is probably absolutely killing Michael Thomas right now that for the past 3 seasons, honestly, because 2020, he wasn't himself. He cannot play football to the level that he knows he's capable of. And it's probably really messing with his mind that he doesn't know now, if he ever is going to get back to his peak of being able to play football that the way that he's used to, the standard that he created for himself. It's unfortunate. I'm sad. I'm sad. Again, I'm a huge Michael Thomas fan. I'm worried about, is he, one, ever going to return to his form? 2, is he ever going to be able to play a full season ever again? I say this in past live streams. I just feel real sad that it seems like, we hit a very, very, very unfortunate stretch of bad luck where players who we were really counting on, like Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston, their bodies just randomly broke down at an age where their bodies should not be breaking down. Usually in your 30s in football is when the body starts to breaking down. Mike and Jameis are still in their 20s, and it looks like, just going off the past 2 seasons that their bodies are not handling, the wear and tear that comes with football as well as you would hope that a body of a 20-year-old can. So I'm sad. I'm very sad. I had high hopes for what Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston could have done together. I had high hopes that Michael Thomas was going to come back this season, as we are in a playoff run because the NFC South is ass, and that Michael Thomas was going to be a huge lift to maybe elevate us just enough over the Falcons and the Bucks that we could, steal a playoff spot in a season where we have no business being even in playoff discussion. I was counting on Michael Thomas to come and push us over that edge. And I just thought that Chris Olave, who for all intents and purposes is now going to be our number 1 wide receiver going forward, not just this season, but for the future. I just thought that he was going to be able to eat so well because Michael Thomas was going to draw double coverage that Olave one-on-one was going to be, it's going to be what they called it. I'm having a brain fart. Lunch. It was going to be dinner. He was going to eat the DB because it was going to be like the second or third team's DB on Chris Olave. We can only hope that Jarvis Landry comes back and that Jarvis Landry plays the rest of the season healthy. I don't think Jarvis Landry is the same wide receiver that he was in 2016, 2017, but I still think that Jarvis Landry can be a good number 2 wide receiver because now Chris Olave is the number 1 wide receiver, and he deserves it because Chris Olave is a beast. So thank God we did make that trade. We're going to probably complain about this trade in the offseason when Philadelphia is having our draft pick, and we're going to be like, I can't believe we weren't a good team and we don't have a first-round pick, and that's justifiable, but it did give us Chris Olave, and Lord knows we need a wide receiver for the next few years, given that we don't know what's the future of Michael Thomas, and Jarvis Landry probably won't be back next year. So just one of those things, it's just been a very, as we've gotten used to, sadly, unfortunate set of circumstances for the New Orleans Saints. I remember in 2019 watching Michael Thomas and just being infatuated with how he played the game of football. I've said it before. It was almost like a linebacker playing wide receiver. He wanted contact, like some wide receivers don't want the contact, and in this wave era of football where wide receivers like that DBs can't press them beyond 5 yards or whatnot, the wide receivers usually get the calls if him and the DB starts hand fighting because it's an offensive league. Michael Thomas welcomed contact. Michael Thomas wanted contact. It was just fun watching him physically impose his will on defensive backs and watching defensive backs get frustrated that this guy, this 6'2", 245 mammoth of a man was just giving him hell for 60 minutes. He broke the receiving record, the reception record. I think didn't Cooper Kupp break it last year, but he did it in 17 games, or he was close to doing it. Michael Thomas needed only 16 games to break the record. It was just a fun year, man. 2019 is going to go down as an underrated fun year because fans were still so scarred from 2018 that they didn't allow themselves, unfortunately, to have fun in 2019. 2019 was a pretty fun year. We went 12-4, I think, or 13-3. Still wind up not getting a freaking first round playoff bye because that's the year, of course, that they made the rule that it was only one seed that gets the playoff bye now. So Saints luck, right? We go 13-3 and we don't even get a bye week, and then we lost to the Vikings. But Michael Thomas, just watching him that year, it was absolutely fun. I'm glad that I was able to watch him break the record against the Titans in person because me and my wife went to that game. And I remember just watching him like damn near the whole game. And he's a menace, man. Like he's batshit insane. And I say that as a compliment. Like he enjoys the physicality of football, but unfortunately that physicality is now starting to rear its ugly head because his body is not responding well to the type of football that Michael Thomas plays. We got him for one game, 2 games really this year, but one full game against the Falcons. First half, the whole team looked like crap, but Michael Thomas looked like he was kind of getting gradually into the flow of things. But that second half, man, it was like a light switch went off, and he absolutely dominated the Falcons. And Lord knows we as Saints fans love it when we have a player who dominates the Falcons. The Falcons had no answer for Michael Thomas in week 1. They put their best cornerback on him, A.J. Terrell, who's a pretty good cornerback. Falcons fans overrate the shit out of him, but he's a pretty good cornerback. And Michael Thomas ate his lunch multiple times. They had no answer for that man. Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston were a huge, huge reason why we somehow pulled a victory from the depths of hell from that game, thanks to the Falcons falconing, of course, as well. And we won that game, and it just got fans so excited to see that, oh, Michael Thomas is back. Like, Michael Thomas is, I mean, y'all remember the game. He had that crazy-ass psycho killer look in his eyes, and I was like, this is the type of stuff that I love. Like, I love having Michael Thomas on this team. I love having this guy be, like, just in love with the game of sport of football and in love with, you know, being a dominant wide receiver. And we didn't even get to enjoy that for 2 games before he lost his, 3 games because he did play in the Bucs game. But he injured his toe in the Carolina Panthers game, which was diagnosed as turf toe. Turf toe is a serious injury, but nobody could have thought that, especially in week 3, that it would lead to the end of his season. Nick Underhill's reported that he dislocated his second toe, so it was obviously a much more serious injury than the initial turf toe diagnosis. And of course, this is leading to a ton of the debates on Twitter, message boards on Facebook about, you know, our medical team and, you know, what can we do because these injuries seem to be piling on every single year and there seems to be no end in sight of how we are being able to make the injuries better. You know, I have one thought that, hey, guys, I'm sorry, but this is football. It's a physical sport. You can have the greatest doctors in the world. Nothing's going to be able to prepare you for, you know, smashing your body into another grown man, play after play after play after play. So how much blame can we put on the medical staff? And then there's another part of you that wants to be cynical and it's like, well, goddamn, though, is our medical staff doing everything that it can? Do we have the top professionals that are available to make sure that we have guys that are healthy to play football? It's frustrating, right? So I'm okay with fans arguing that. I get it. That's part of being a fan. You're gonna, you know, yell at or you need something to be mad at. So, but just don't be mad at Michael Thomas. Is all I'm saying. Like, it's probably killing no person more right now than Michael Thomas that he can't play football. So I'm seeing, and I'm getting it on Twitter and some of my mentions too, like saying I'm being soft on Michael Thomas. You know, and I'm like, chill. Like, at the end of the day, I you know, we all are guilty of being a little bit irrational when it comes to sports. I'm the poster boy of it. That's why half of you guys probably follow me. But these are human beings, right? And I just think that this idea that Michael Thomas is proactively not trying to play football is absolutely crazy. But to like take shots at him, to call him a bum, to call him out his name. I mean, I'm the guy that even for players I don't like I'm never going to kick a player while he's down when it comes to injuries, all right? You know, these are all, but football, the most like physically demanding sports. And, you know, it's great that we have this escape from reality, that we can watch some of the best athletes in the world entertain us. And, you know, there's nothing better than having, you know, your own team and having guys wear your favorite colors, black and gold for us Saints fans, and, you know, represent your city, your state, your team, your fanhood, right? Like, it's great to have that. But they're all humans at the end of the day. And they play a very physical game, football being one of the most barbaric sports of all time, maybe only second to boxing. And so injuries are going to happen, and we have to respect and show these guys grace whenever they have moments like this. And I know it's frustrating, right? Michael Thomas makes a lot of money. We're paying Michael Thomas a lot of money to not help us win games. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. I get being frustrated with that. But that is no reason for us. I feel like I'm preaching on my high horse. I'm not trying to be one of those type of people, but there's no reason for us to take shots at Michael Thomas. You could be mad at the situation. You can question a lot of things. I'm not telling nobody they can't be mad. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated, but don't take it out on the players, right? Had something similar happen last night with the Pelicans game. If you're a Pelicans fan, we had the Lakers beat. Dyson Daniels, the rookie who had a very good game up until that point, missed 2 free throws. Of course, fans went on social media and were calling him all types of names, getting mad at him. And it's fine to be frustrated, when your team and the players that you cheer for come up short. But to call him out there, I'm never going to allow that. So if anybody's in the chat, and again, 44 the legendary, I'm sure you're just frustrated. So I'm not the type to block people from the chat, but what we're not going to do is call anybody out their name, this player. So let me get to some of these comments. Appreciate everybody who's joining the channel. Usually, unfortunately, whenever I live stream, it's probably because of bad Saints news. Like, very rarely have I gone on live for good Saints news. It's usually because it's bad news for the Saints. It's almost like we're used to it at this point, right, Saints fans? Like, we're just used to the bad news coming for the Saints. But I see Jerry in the chat. He says, first the Pelicans lost to the Lakers Wednesday night, and now this. Yeah, last night was sucks for the Pelicans. We played like crap for the first half. It was a game we had no business winning, but we found the way to actually have the win and to lose the game because of some unfortunate sequences of gameplay. It happens. It's an 82-game season, but what really sucked is that of all teams, it was to the Lakers. That's what hurt me. Oh, that was annoying. If y'all want to laugh, y'all can see the video I uploaded last night. Because I wear my L's the same way I wear my W's. Like, if I'm going to talk shit and brag and poke my thumb when we win, I'll be more than happy to take my L's when we lose. And I was talking shit thinking that the game was over last night, and it wasn't. The Lakers came back and won in dramatic fashion. Shout out to the Lakers. That was a good game by them. And I posted the video of my reaction. Even though, in the video, I'm setting myself up to look like a dumbass because I'm talking shit. I'm like, yeah, take that shit, Lakers fans or whatever. And then we wind up losing, right? But I wear my L's the same way I wear my W's. So if you want a good laugh, if you want to see me look absolutely stupid, if you want to see me have what we call the dick luck, which is usually when your team that you think is about to have a success, have a heartbreaking way to lose games. As Saints fans, we wear the dick luck all too well. Watch that video. Douglas says that Michael Thomas might not play for the Saints anymore, and he might not. But he has a lot of cap ramifications on his contract, so we will see. I don't think we could trade him. Who's going to want to trade for a wide receiver who's basically missed the past 3 seasons and is due like another $60 million? So the obvious next solution would be to cut him. And then you get into this thing of, do you cut him or do you keep him and hope that he gets back healthy? I'm speaking from emotion. Of course, I want to keep him and I want to hope that he gets healthy for 2023 and that he comes back to the Michael Thomas we know and love. But I will understand if the team says he just costs too much money and we can't keep him, and so we have to cut him. That would suck. That would absolutely suck. But that's the business of football. Jerry says he wants Michael Thomas to go somewhere else because he's tired of this. I personally don't. Again, I am a huge Michael Thomas fan. I think that even if he doesn't ever come back to his top form, I think that he can still be a pretty good football player. And one thing that would happen if we cut him and then he goes to another team and he winds up playing the majority of the season, and he may not have 1,600 yards, but if he has like a 1,200 yard, 6 touchdown reception season, the first people that's going to complain are the Saints fans, and the Saints fans that were saying we should have cut him. So, be careful what you wish for. I know that he costs a lot of money, so we might have to cut him out of necessity. I get that. But I'm going to hope as a fan that we keep him because Michael Thomas makes our team a lot better. My uncle, Cliff. What up, Cliff? Cliff says Thomas and Landry are mad about the Jameis Winston issue. Landry said he came here specifically to play with Jameis. All right, so Cliff is a very, very pro. Cliff is the man, by the way, guy I personally know since childhood. A good mentor to me. Cliff is a very pro Jameis Winston guy, and he has his thoughts about why we are benching Jameis Winston and starting Andy Dalton. Y'all know my thoughts on that. It's like arguing, do you want to get shot or do you want to get stabbed? Either way, you're in for a pretty shitty outcome. So I don't waste energy on the Andy Dalton versus Jameis Winston debate. But Cliff, I absolutely disagree with this. I do not think that Thomas and Landry are holding out because of the Jameis Winston issue. For one, Jarvis Landry is essentially playing for a new contract next year. He only signed the 1 year deal. So this was kind of like a prove-it year because he wanted to show teams, whether it be us in 2023 or any other of the 31 teams, that he still has some gas in the tank and he wants, another payday. Him being on the bench and not playing, it doesn't help his chances of getting a payday next year. So I'm sure Jarvis Landry wants to be out on that field, whether James is quarterback, whether Dalton is quarterback, or whether I am quarterback. As far as Thomas, I don't even think Thomas and Jameis Winston have that deep of a relationship that Thomas would be that upset that Jameis Winston was benched, that he would say, you know what, now I'm going to sit out the season. Thomas doesn't care about that. Thomas's first and only level forever be Drew Brees, but he will make it work with any quarterback. So I have to disagree with you there on Cliff. Douglas also says that if he does play for the Saints, he'll be the best player in the NFL. That's how fandom works, right? Sell for Subs says, I don't think that it's on him. This is the second time that rehab, quote unquote, hasn't worked out for him. It required him to have surgery. This is on the team diets. And again, a lot of you Saints fans are definitely going to be pointing your finger at the team doctors. And it might be justified. I'm not a medical professional. I don't know how to point my finger when it comes to things like this. I know that football is a brutal sport, so I know that, you're going to have injuries. But it is frustrating that for the past 2 seasons, every week when an injury list comes out for practice reports, it's like the size of a CVS receipt, right? And it's like, well, goddamn, like, what are we doing wrong? Like, are we just having a bad stretch of luck where our players can't keep it together with their bodies on the field? Or is our medical staff just not properly equipped to handle the brutality of football? Mind you, the Saints, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we actually have a new medical staff this season. Like, we got rid of the medical staff or the bulk of the medical staff from last season. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to go at the medical staff, because we did exactly what the fans are saying we should do. We got a new medical staff this season, and the same things are happening. So, and that's how the fan brain works, right? Like, even though I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a fact, we have a new medical staff this year. But yet fans are still saying, fire the medical staff, fire the medical staff. Well, we did. We did it last season. And so now we have a new medical staff and we're still having these injuries. So, now I think auctioneers, the people providing these people, so you can argue, should we go with a new subsidiary for who we get our team doctors from, which this is a whole other argument. But just kind of goes to show that you can yell, fire this person, fire that person. But, fans don't even realize, a lot of fans don't realize that we already did fire the medical staff. So if we do fire the medical staff again this offseason, we'll be doing it basically twice. And, it's right now showing that it is, proving that a medical staff can cure what ails us. My dude, John, y'all do not, please go to his YouTube channel and subscribe. He has a great Saints only YouTube channel. Y'all know I do more than just Saints, but John is strictly Saints. I mean, he has Saint in his name, right? Some good content. And he says, I can't even think about Michael Thomas being somewhere else. I can't either, John. I'm kind of going through, as usual, the 5 stages of grief right now. And right now I'm kind of just in the depression stage because Michael Thomas was my favorite Saints player to watch play football. Maybe Alvin Kamara might edge him out on that. I go back and forth with who is my favorite, but I just loved watching Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara play football. And that's another thing. It makes me sad that we haven't really for the past 3 seasons have been able to watch Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara play football together. We got to watch it for 1 game this season, and then Kamara was out for the Bucks game. And then when Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara came back, Michael Thomas got hurt in the Carolina game. So we really only got 1.5 games of Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. And if you would have told me the future of the Saints after the 2018 season, I would have been like, Jesus Christ. I hope we win a Super Bowl because things aren't looking too promising. And of course, the referee didn't throw the damn flag. You know, a lot of these things would be so much easier to handle if we actually won a Super Bowl in 2018, right? Would have, like, everything would have been gravy. We would have been like, well, we still got 2018 to go back on, but this league, man, this league. Ryan says he blames the turf for the injuries of Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry, and that's a big part of the topic of debate for football players and some coaches and executives right now. The grass versus field turf debate. And I'm starting to think myself that all 32 stadiums, whether you're outside or inside, should be grass, because from the stuff that I'm reading, it seems like grass is easier for the player's body than artificial turf. I'm not an expert. I got to read up more on it. But I know Carolina has one of those wonky field turfs, and we lost two of our wide receivers because of that turf, along with other things I'm sure that added up to the injuries. But yeah, I'm starting to think that every team should have grass as their field of play, because it will limit some of the injuries. You're not going to prevent injuries no matter what, but it will make the injuries a lot less frequent if you use grass. I'm laughing at Jerry's comment, refund all the money back to the team and leave. You're speaking out of frustration, Jerry. Look, Michael actually, if y'all don't forget, Michael, I'm pretty sure, got paid after 2018. So Michael got the contract and then had the greatest wide receiver season of all time. So this is not one of those things where he got the money and then we haven't heard from him since. Like, he had arguably one of the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time after he got paid. So I'm not going to count that man's pockets. He deserves all the money. He put his money where his mouth was after he got the big contract. Unfortunately, after 2019, things haven't been good for him. But it's not like he got the money and after that it was done. I think people kind of have a little bit of Mandela effect is what they call it, where you remember something that a way that it happened, but it didn't really happen that way. I think a lot of people think that Michael Thomas got the money after the 2019 season. No, Michael Thomas got paid after 2018. So Michael Thomas had that 100-plus reception season after he got paid. So it's not like he got his money. One last time I'm going to say this. It's not like Michael Thomas got his money and then ran off and then there was all these injuries. Michael Thomas got paid and then played better than he had the past 4 seasons that earned him his payday. So I will not count Michael Thomas's pockets. It's a brutal game. I'm all about the players getting their money. They deserve it. It's a brutal, brutal game. Half of these guys can't walk after 50 years old. Some of these guys, CTE and brain injuries and all that. I am never going to tell any player that they should give the money back. And I know Jerry's just kind of like joking around and being frustrated, but I'm just speaking more in general. This is kind of weird, right? Usually I'm the guy who's always a joking kind. I'm going to get back to that real soon, I promise you guys. I feel like my last few videos, which have been mainly just reaction videos, have just been me being all emotional and stuff. I got to get back to the skits and stuff and having fun with you guys, because what are we if we can't have fun, especially with this team, right? Ryan says, why hate on Michael Thomas? Let me break your ankles and have a pit bull rip your tendons apart and see how fast you come back. Yeah, I stubbed my toe and I'm out for a week. I can stub my toe and I'm going to be out for a week. So, these guys are warriors. I think we don't give these players credit enough. These guys are warriors for the injuries that they play with. It's not like Michael Thomas didn't try. I'll say that one last time. It is not like Michael Thomas didn't try. Michael Thomas is probably the most frustrated out of everybody with these injuries right now. So I'm not going to take it out on Michael Thomas. I'm not going to take it out on any Saints players. Bayou says rebuild time. Yes, I agree with that. But for the meantime, we can't rebuild because we have all these contracts that have a lot of money and we don't have a first-round draft pick. So thank God the NFC South sucks and that we still can make a run for the playoffs. So yes, I do agree. We need to rebuild. Probably, unfortunately, it's going to be in 2024 off season where we can really rebuild, because for the next 2 years, we're kind of handicapped by these contracts we have. But I give the football guys a lot of shit. I will give them this. Our division is ass this year. Our division is ass. So we have a shot at making the playoffs. So it's kind of like I keep saying, we're still in a playoff spot this year. We can steal a playoff spot. We can go 7-8 wins, might win the NFC South. So while we do know that long term we have a lot of things to work on, I sure as hell will have a lot of fun if we were able to still make the playoffs. And then who knows? Maybe we'll upset a team because we just, in January we had a really good day. We'll get a home game. It would be something where like the Cowboys could be 12-5, but they would have to come to the Superdome to play the 7-8 Saints. How hilarious would that be? How fun would it be for us to actually win that game, right? So I agree. The Saints definitely need to rebuild. But, the main thing, we keep saying rebuild. What we need to do is find a fucking quarterback for the future. Your team ain't nothing unless you have a quarterback, but as I've always said, Hall of Fame quarterbacks don't grow on trees. So we just got to pray every night that we can find a good quarterback. But in the meantime, we don't have a first-round pick next year. We don't have a lot of cap space to sign people or even trade people. So the team we have now is the team we have for the foreseeable future. So why not take advantage of the fact that the NFC South sucks and focus on trying to make the playoffs? If we beat Baltimore Monday, my optimism about us making the playoffs will significantly go higher. All right. I'm trying to catch up on all of these chats. The thing that doesn't have anything to do with Andy Jameis, and Cliff didn't say they were holding out because Jameis. He is just speaking the truth. Jarvis came here for Jameis, and Michael Thomas built a relationship with Jameis. Okay, so again, I know my Jarvis did come for Jameis. I still don't think that Jarvis. Let me go back to my Uncle Cliff's comment. So make sure I read this right because I don't want to put out a narrative that he didn't mean. But Cliff said, I'm going back, and he said this. He said, Thomas and Landry are mad for the Jameis Winston issue. Landry said he came here specifically to play with Jameis. I'm taking that comment as him saying that the reason why Thomas and Landry weren't playing or weren't as motivated to play was because they were mad about the whole Jameis Winston thing. If I read that wrong, Cliff, if you're still in the chat, please let me know. But I disagree fully with this statement that we're all mad about Jameis Winston body breaking down, right? Some are mad about him being benched. I could give two rats ass, to be honest with you. Again, it's like arguing about being shot or being stabbed. Who gives a shit? Jameis and Dolan ain't that good of quarterbacks for us to spend energy on arguing about, which one of them should start. Dolan ain't great, but if he plays like he did Sunday, I can live with that. I'm content. I'm not happy. I'm not excited, but I'm content. Like, don't turn the ball over. Play safe. If we got to go back to the dink and dunk offense and just give Kamara the ball, I'm all for that. And that's one thing that Jameis struggled with. Jameis, to his credit, it works sometimes. He's always about, the big play and looking downfield or whatnot and not taking the fact that you have to arguably, maybe McCaffrey has an argument, the greatest catching back in the NFL right now. But Jameis, numbers don't lie. He refused to throw the ball and just take the easy yards with Kamara because he was always focused on trying to let his wide receivers make a play. I'm not saying that that's a bad mindset. Well, it kind of is because, it's fucking Alvin Kamara. Like, get the ball to Alvin Kamara if nobody's open. You're like, I appreciate it because sometimes it works in our favor, right? Like, we get big plays by Jameis always looking downfield. But, man, hell with that. Sometimes just take what – you got Alvin Kamara. And Andy Dalton is a lot better at giving Kamara the ball than Jameis Dalton. So if it came down to just who the hell gives Alvin Kamara the ball, unfortunately, Andy Dalton is better at doing that than Jameis Winston, so I'm content with Dalton being the starter. But if Andy Dalton plays like crap and we got to put Jameis Winston back in, I will not shed a tear. I cheer for Jameis. At the end of the day, y'all, they both are mid, as the kids say. So why are we, doing conspiracy theories about who's mad about the James situation or who should be starting? Who cares? Who cares? Not if those guys are going to be quarterback for the Saints in 2 years. So who gives a shit? All right. John says Mike wanted to play. Yeah, I agree. Michael Thomas is a competitor. Like, these theories about Michael Thomas not wanting to be with the Saints is just silly to me. It's just absolutely silly. Ryan says, if we go on a run, all we have to do is be healthy, a team at the end of the year to win. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I agree. If you wanted to take that small belief that, hey, if we actually make the playoffs, we can make the Super Bowl, I think that window of optimism closed today because I truly think we needed Michael Thomas to go on like one of these miracle runs in January. So now my focus is on making the playoffs, and whatever happens at that point, whatever. If we get our ass kicked in the wild card round, great. If we upset a team the way Seattle upset us in 2010, even better. But any 1% or 2% thought that you might have of, hey, maybe we might get some good luck going our way and we can make a Super Bowl run, that completely goes out the window with Michael Thomas not being in the lineup anymore. Cash Black says Michael Thomas got a paper cut and is out for the year. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not with it. I'm not with this. Michael Thomas is a warrior. He. It's not like Michael Thomas wants to be injured, guys. It's not like he's seeking injuries. It's not like I think him being hurt, he's the one who feels like shit the most. I get we're fans. I get that fanaticism is a real thing. I get that we're all frustrated and that because Michael Thomas is so good, we're irrationally taking out our anger on a lot of entities. That's one of the rule books of being a fan. You have to blame somebody. It's never a thing of, as a fan, saying, oh, well, it's just unfortunate. No. Being a fan means you have to be irrational, and so I get it. So we are all looking for somebody or something to blame. Some people are going to blame Michael Thomas. Some people are going to blame Dennis Allen. Some people are going to blame the medical staff. I get it. But I strongly disagree with the take of Michael Thomas. I don't want to say it's injury prone because he kind of starting it's becoming injury prone, but isn't playing through injuries because he's soft. I strongly disagree with that. Strongly. Again, I can see everybody being mad at the medical staff. I'm not smart enough, and I'm not going to claim to be smart enough to know what's going on with the medical staff, but I'm more willing to accept those criticisms than I am of people coming at Michael Thomas. Maybe I am being too biased or soft on Michael because I'm a huge fan of his, but I can guarantee you it could be Michael Thomas can be Joe Schmo down the street. I'm always going to be sensitive to players when it comes to injuries, especially in the game of football, because this is a barbaric sport. This is a very, very barbaric sport, and I appreciate all the people who line up and put on those uniforms and go play this game for our entertainment, because this game takes a lot of years out of anybody's life who puts on a uniform. So I am not going to criticize Michael Thomas for these injuries. Chris Cole says some Bucs fans still want Winston over Brady. And Chris is a Bucs fan, so Chris, thanks for coming and joining the chat. I don't know if you're coming in the chat to wallow in the Saints fans' misery, but I do appreciate the comment, the engagement. And if anybody's in the chat and you haven't hit the like and subscribe button yet, why the hell not? But yeah, Chris, Jameis has a lot of fans. He has a very similar fan base to Lonzo Ball. He's like the NBA version of Lonzo Ball, NFL version of Lonzo Ball, where like no matter what, boy, he got some ride or die fans that's going to stick with him and stand up for him no matter what. Like he can have the worst games and it's always going to be somebody else's fault. And I like Jameis and I want Jameis to succeed. Jameis, if nothing else, is the greatest teammate of all time. I don't know if y'all seen the video of him freestyling in a huddle on Sunday, but dude is just a hell of a teammate. And he can easily be like, being discontent right now, just pouting or whatever because Dennis Allen benched him, but he's still as energized as a backup as he was as a starter. And I just absolutely love that. That shows his character. That shows his leadership. I want it, and I still do want Jameis to succeed. But it's a win and lose business. It's a bottom line business, the NFL and sports in general is. And for 8 years, for whatever reason fans want to say, oh, in Tampa, he didn't have an O-line. Oh, he didn't have good coaching in Tampa. Oh, Sean Payton was holding him back. Oh, the injuries was too much for Jameis. Oh, his body started breaking down, whatever. It's not fair. The NFL, the F in NFL does not stand for fair. So, yes, it sucks for Jameis, but it is what it is. And the NFL waits for nobody. And that Jameis is in year 8 and, is still getting chances is actually a testament to his talent. But it's going to soon get to a point where these teams are like, yeah, Jameis, you had your shot. Sorry it didn't work out for this reason or that reason. But, every year a new crop of quarterbacks comes in the league. And so, if you're not in that Patrick Mahomes, that tier of good quarterbacks, they shut you out. They shove you out the door. And, maybe Jameis's future is that he's going to be one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. But his chances of being a starter dwindle with each passing game. And I do not see him being the Saints quarterback of the future for sure. I hope if no other team wants him, he will come back for us and be a backup. That would be great. But any idea of him being the starter or the future guy for our team, I mean, God bless you if you still believe that. 15 years of greatness. Feels like the Saints are headed for some dark days ahead. Headed for some dark days. We're here. We're not headed for anything. We're here. What you mean headed for some? The dark days started last year when we didn't make the playoffs. The dark days are here. We're not headed for anything. We're here. But again, the NFC South sucks. So we still might make the playoffs, which would be a nice little gift from the football guys. And that's Chris. And I'm very happy that he transparently admires and says this out loud. He lives he shares the Saints' misery, but he also, I think, is enjoying it. And hey, look, I always enjoy watching the Bucs fans and Panthers fans and Falcons fans cry. So now I know Bucs fans, every NFC South fan base right now is going through it. So nobody should be celebrating. I think the Falcons fans are delusionally celebrating right now because they're in top of the NFC South. But we all know how that script goes, right? Like, let the Falcons fans set themselves up for another heartbreak. It makes the joy of their cheers even better. Nick says, I hate this for Michael Thomas. He looked so good when he was healthy this season. He was only healthy for 2.5 games. But that Falcons game, man, again, I was in person. And I just watching him absolutely abuse AJ Terrell. They had no answer for Michael Thomas that Falcons game. And, the excitement you get as a fan seeing that and the optimism that builds from seeing a performance like that and being like, oh, shit. It's scary hours again, right? Like we were like, Michael Thomas is back. It's about to be some scary hours with Michael Thomas and Jameis Winston. And we didn't even get to enjoy that for a week. Like even before the Bucs game, like freaking 20 minutes before the game, Jake Glazer was like, oh, yeah, by the way, Jameis Winston has 4 broken bones in his back. What? 4 broken bones in his back? What the hell? I remember I was at my seat when I read that tweet from Jake Glazer. And I'm looking on the field, and you see Jameis, and I'm like, well, why in the hell is Jameis Winston about to play football with 4 broken bones in his back? And, of course, that game he looked like complete shit. I wonder why, because he had 4 broken bones in his back. And so we had really just one game to enjoy the Jameis Winston to Michael Thomas show. But that's the life of a Saints fan for you. Cashback says, if we would have drafted a replacement for Drew Brees, we would not be in this situation. I will forever be upset at Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland for not taking Lamar Jackson in the 2019 draft. I heard some stories that Lamar Jackson and his agent didn't want to come to the Saints because they didn't want to back up Drew Brees. And to that, I say, who gives a shit, right? Reggie Bush and his agent didn't want to come to the Saints, and we still took him. We should have taken Lamar Jackson. I'm not as hard on Marcus Davenport as a lot of fans are, but if we would have took Lamar Jackson in that draft, our future would be looking a lot more brighter than it looks right now. Jeremy says, Payton to Dallas next year after Michael McCarthy shits the bed in the playoffs. He has insider info. Well, they will have to shit the bed in the playoffs for that insider info to come true. But that would be fun. What would be great is if, again, the 7-8 or 8-9 Saints played the 12-5 Cowboys in the Superdome because we won the division, and and Dallas is a wild card team, and we upset Dallas. That would be great because Jerry Jones would probably be heated, and he probably would fire Mike McCarthy, and then that would give Sean Payton the door to come in and be the Cowboys coach. And then hopefully Jerry Jones would give us a nice, pretty little first-round pick to take Sean Payton off our hands. E-Jack says, we're going to talk about Dyson, though. I already talked about Dyson. And again, I wear my L's the same way I wear my W's. So if you want to see me look like a complete idiot, look at my latest YouTube video. I was doing a reaction video to the Saints, the Pelicans and Lakers game. I was talking a lot of shit. Before those free throws because I thought we had the game won. I was like, wow, we won this game we had no business of winning. And then Dyson, he let all us light-skinned people down. And he missed those 2 free throws, and it was just hell from there. So if you want a good laugh, go watch that video. Mikey says that Dallas sucks. My dude, Ziggy, you ain't got to put a price on it. So if Ziggy is hosting my platform right now. He's giving me the streaming software. So everything good, Ziggy. Everything is good. My dog Ziggy, funny. We're gonna have Ziggy on the show. We're gonna do like a real professional stream in the next coming weeks, so look out for that. So yeah, guys, I don't want to keep up you guys for too long. This was just a chat to give instant reaction to the Michael Thomas news. It sucks, but we're Saints fans. We're resilient. We will push through. Philly says most Saints fans did not want a replacement while Drew was on the roster. I talked to a few fans because Drew was on the decline and would have started a QB battle for who would be the starter. Possibly. Absolutely. Possibly. I agree with that. Ziggy says he needs some John Barnes merchandise. I don't think, guys, I'm at the point of my YouTube career or social media career where I can put out merchandise. I do think this. I think if I put out merchandise, I got some damn good loyal subscribers and supporters who would buy it. But this is a business, right? So, like, I would probably, if anything, break even. After that initial rush of the supporters who really love my content buy the merchandise, then it would just be, merchandise sitting on the shelves because nobody else will be interested in it. But one day, if I ever do get to like a pretty significant following, yes, I will be more than happy to provide some John Barnes merchandise for you guys. Mikey asks, is my best friend S. Ryder sad? He is not. He is obviously not, but he is a Rams fan, so he's not too happy either. Ziggy says he will rock some John. The same way I will rock some Ziggy the Beast merchandise. So yeah, guys, that's all I had to say today. Be on the lookout for some future videos. We're gonna do some skits. We're gonna have some fun again. Like I said, I feel like my last few reaction videos and just videos in general have been so, I don't want to say gloomy, but just not the typical fun you guys are used to from the John Barnes channel. So I will be doing some skits soon, and we will have fun again because Lord knows we need it. But hey, last Sunday was really fun. Whooping the Raiders' ass, that was really fun. And hopefully we can find a way to upset the Ravens on Monday. And then shit, NFC South, sky might be the limit. John says, I'm not a man. I'm just a shirt. Again, I do have an idea for some merchandise. I just got to make sure that it's worth the investment and that I have enough of a loyal following all right, so Ziggy's about to embarrass me. He says, if everybody wants John Barnes merchandise, put a 1 in the chat. And so far, only one person has put a 1 in the chat, and that's Ziggy. So Ziggy, you kind of proving my point. You're about to make me look a little silly, Ziggy. All right, we got one from my dog, St. John. Traders Playbook says, whoa, guess who's back? Back again. Where's Ziggy? Look, with you, with John, and with Mikey, at least I know I will have 3 sales if I ever put out a t-shirt, okay? So I appreciate the 3 of you guys. But yeah, so anyway, speaking of Ziggy, I'm probably about to text him right now, and me and Ziggy are going to help me learn this streaming platform better so that we can do a really good show. And I want Ziggy to come in and be a moderator because he's a hell of a moderator. Check out Ziggy's channel. I don't think it's the Ziggy the Beast channel, but he has a show called Let's Hash It Out. If you're into this is totally different from what I do, but if you have interest in like relationship discussions and things like that, he hosts a show called Let's Hash It Out. But I'm going to have Ziggy come in on my channel and moderate, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have an actual good live stream that you Saints fans and Pelicans fans and NFL fans and NBA fans deserve. But as far as now, I think this always freaking happens. Every time I'm about to log off, my numbers go up. Like, why the hell weren't y'all here when I was talking about the goddamn Michael Thomas thing from the get-go? I'm about to log off, and now everybody wants to come and join the goddamn live stream. So, screw you guys. I didn't mean that. I'm just emotional right now. But if y'all want to send a super chat, that would be great. I'll stay on for some super chats. My dog Tony says, we at work, people getting off. Hell with work. Who's more important, Tony? Me or the goddamn bills that you have to pay? Talking about some we at work. I am your work. I'm your job. Anytime John Barnes goes live, everybody should stop what they're doing and watch. Anytime John Barnes pushes a video, y'all should stop what you're doing and watch. I'm your job now. I'm just being silly, y'all. I'm just being silly. Ant-Man says leave then. Leave when I want to leave, Ant-Man. Y'all starting to bully me. Y'all can't tell me what to do. I think Montreal's trying to say he just got off. Yeah, y'all should have been on when y'all was working. Y'all boss gonna understand. When y'all on your phones and laptops and your boss walks in and says, hey, shouldn't you be at work? Be like, motherfucker, I'm watching the John Barnes show. And you know what your boss gonna say? He's gonna say, oh, I understand that. And he's gonna walk right off. I love y'all, man. Y'all make me laugh. Y'all awesome. Y'all are awesome. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I truly do. Traders Podcast says, stay on for 5 more minutes, bro. I'm gonna only start staying on Traders Podcast if I get and Traders. You sent me one last time, so don't send me one. But if I start getting more super chats, I'll stay on. I'll give y'all a 2.5 hour show, and I'll open up the phone lines where y'all can come and talk to me and let y'all voices be heard. I think there's a way I can do that on this new streaming platform, but my dog Ziggy has to teach me how to do that. But I'm gonna do that. Like, we're gonna have a show again. I'm gonna have Ziggy come and moderate where we can have people come in and call into the show. And I want to hear from you guys too, not just from the chat, but from the phone lines and whatnot. Trader says, I have the biggest Saints channel on YouTube. I will have the biggest Saints channel on YouTube. He's speaking it into existence. He's trying to manifest it. Let's manifest it. I appreciate that Traders Playbook. They got some damn good Saints YouTube channels and other Saints platforms on social media out there right now. I'll even say this. Forever and always, I'll give y'all Saints content like forever, no matter what happens. But I also don't advertise myself as a Saints channel because I do other videos sometimes, and I know it probably throws a lot of my audience off, and it probably definitely throws the algorithm off. But I like doing videos of like general comedy too. I have some other comedy skits that have nothing to do with the Saints or Pelicans that I'm going to be putting on my channel soon. So because of that, I don't advertise myself as a Saints channel, but I am a Saints fan and I'm passionate about it. So forever and always, Saints content will be a huge part of my channel. It's just not, like I couldn't call my channel the John Barnes Saints channel, or I'm a name drop. I'm gonna give shout out to my good friend, the State of the Saints podcast. Like, I can't call my channel the State of the Saints podcast because I do way too much other different content besides Saints to advertise it as a Saints channel. So appreciate your comment, Traders, but I wouldn't be able to be the biggest Saints channel because I'm not a Saints only channel. But again, forever, you guys will get Saints content out of me because I'm a Saints fan. I got Saints tattoos in places that can't be seen right now. So you're always going to get Saints content, but you might also, one day get a notification about a new John Barnes video is posted and it's about Eminem. Like I'm all over the place. I'm a big melting gumbo pot of content. And I hope you guys enjoy all my other videos the same way you enjoy my Saints or Pelicans videos. Ryan says he learned about the Saints because of his boss. Ryan, you need to be a lifetime employee for that company then, because that sounds like a smart boss. No, that's an insulting question. He asked, did I go to St. Aug? Hell no. What kind of question is that? I'm going to give Ziggy 2 minutes if he's still on the chat. He might be at work too. But Ziggy, if you're still in the chat, let these guys know where we went to ask an audacious question like, did we go to St. Aug? What? Ziggy might not be in the chat, though. So I might have to answer for you myself. I'm going to give Ziggy no, Ziggy. Ziggy, I do agree. Hit the like button, yes. But Ziggy, let these people know where the hell we went to school at. Bam! There we go. Come on, man. The Holy Cross. Holy Cross Tigers. Me and Ziggy. We some Holy Cross men. Cheer for Holy Cross. Come on now. Don't ever ask me again if I'm a St. Aug Purple Knight. All jokes aside, I have a ton of respect for St. Aug. My brother went to St. Aug. A lot of my good friends went to St. Aug. A lot of my cousins went to St. Aug. Great school. I'm a Holy Cross Tiger, baby. I am a Holy Cross Tiger. My dog. That Traders Playbook really thought that I was a St. Aug Purple Knight. Ain't no way. But I'll give y'all this. Y'all breed some head of athletes. Because one thing Holy Cross can't brag about is having an NFL player or an NBA player. So y'all got a lot of trash talk when it comes to that. Y'all, hell, we got one St. Aug alumnus on our team right now. Had a big play on Sunday with the interception. I hope one day we get a Holy Cross alumnus on our team. But hell, I hope we get a Holy Cross alumnus in the NFL, period. sheesh. But I don't know. Maybe me or maybe Ziggy will, keep building up our growers. I'll follow us, and people will be like, famous Holy Cross alumnus, John Barnes, a famous Holy Cross alumnus, Ziggy the Beast. Maybe one day. But it's all love. Traders playbook. Yep, absolutely. I love. Yeah, goddamn, a kicker, a long snapper would be fine. Shit, somebody from Holy Cross gotta make it to the league one day. Damn. Y'all are great. I guess we're gonna leave on this comment. Marv Javian. I hope I'm saying it right. It sounds so fancy. Javian. Marv Javian says trade him. He's talking about Michael Thomas. We can't trade him because, well, we can, but who's gonna take on his contract? Who's gonna take on the contract of a guy who's owed like $70 million, I guess, left on his contract and has only played in like 2 games in the past 2 seasons? So trading him is probably not an option, but there is an option. We would take a huge cap hit, but we could cut him and just take out L and say it ain't working out, Mike. And if it happens, that would make me sad because I want to keep Michael Thomas because he's one of my favorite players. And I also know that Thomas may never come back to the player that we saw from 2016 to 2019, which also makes me sad. But I mean, I just think that we're a better team with Michael Thomas. And if we can't trade him, I would rather just eat the cap space and keep him on the team and just hope. As fans, all we can do is hope anyway. So let's just hope that he can come back and that we can enjoy more games of Michael Thomas wearing black and gold. But I do understand the fans' frustration. I understand the disappointment. I understand the anger. All I ask is that as fans, we do not take it out on Michael Thomas. Or we don't come and sound like Alex Jones with some conspiracy type BS about, Michael Thomas doesn't want to play for the Saints and he's doing this on purpose. No, injuries suck. Like, it is what it is. We just got to hope that the man can recover and that his body stops failing him and that he can play the game of football that he excels at when he is healthy. So, yeah, Ziggy, that'll be interesting. I doubt Michael Thomas is going to go for that, but maybe he will take a pay cut or restructure his contract. We'll see. But until then, we grieve, we wipe our tears away, and we do what Saints fans always do. We bounce back and live to fight another day. And we hope and pray that this upcoming Monday, we beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And at that point, hell, who knows? We might be number 1 in the god-awful NFC South. That would be fun. We have no business being in the playoff picture to begin with. But because the NFC South sucks so bad, we might have a shot at making the playoffs. And that would be fun. And the football guys owe us because of days like today when our favorite wide receiver goes out for the season. But I will also say this, to be glass half full, Chris Olave looks really good. And I think Chris Olave is definitely going to be a very, very, very worthy wide receiver 1 in the future. I'm glad that you're not grieving, Tito, because this is just sports at the end of the day. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate everybody who was able to tune in, even though we are technically on working hours right now. Just remember, if I ever go on live doing working hours, tell your boss that, hey, shh, John Barnes is on. And we all know John Barnes takes priority over everything. You could be getting married. You could be literally at the altar. If John Barnes goes on live while you're about to get married, you hold that ceremony up to see what John Barnes has to say. Olave to the moon and back, huh? Let's hope. Appreciate the love, Ziggy. Appreciate everybody who joined this live stream. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're already all subscribed, I appreciate you guys very much. Look out for some future videos. Ziggy say, this is why, I never ask people to click the bell notification because I don't ever click bell notifications. I kind of just have my favorites of people who I go and watch their videos when I see that they have a new video, like my dog, St. John Butler. But yeah, you guys are more than welcome to hit the notification bell. But just know, I'll be posting videos at some wonky hours of the day. Like, I'm a night owl. I stay up to 2 a.m. to edit videos and get them up and whatnot. So if you're okay with getting like a notification at 2 a.m. saying John Barnes has posted a new video, by all means, hit the notification bell. And if you're also okay with like getting non-Saints content, like, oh, John Barnes just posted a video about Lil Wayne or something. I do some music video spoofs. If you guys are okay with that, be my guest. Hit the notification bell, but mainly hit the subscribe button. All right. All right, guys. Last 2 comments. Let's trade him already. Again, he cannot be traded. His contract is just too big. And it takes 2 to tango. You got to find a team that's willing to take his contract on. And we'll end it out with Ryan, who says, don't worry, Jarvis will be up and help us make the playoffs. Let's hope. Let's end it on some optimism. Let's hope. Love you guys. Don't be afraid to hit the like and subscribe button or not. I'm just a human being, but I'm not the law. See you guys next time. And as always, Tech Hollywood is because we're Saints fans. It's still, though, who that? I'm trying to like watch the camera in the live stream to make it seem like it's smooth, but I'm failing.